right, we are live. Everyone, welcome. Obviously, you probably know me because I'm putting out all of these on social media platforms where most of you know me. If you don't know me, I'm Brian Horning. I'm CEO of Exact IT and Cybersecurity, and I'm here today to discuss with you what's going on over at Rackspace. Interestingly enough, over the weekend, another cloud provider, and in this case, it happened to be companies, mostly small, medium-sized businesses that host their Exchange email, not with Microsoft. Many of you may be familiar with like M365 or O365, and that's how you get your email. These services were the precursor to that, where third-party companies would set up their own hosted Exchange service, and Rackspace happened to be one of the companies who had done that over the years, and they've been doing it for many, many years. There's a couple of things happening here that are important. I'm not going to take up a ton of time today. Just going to go through kind of what's happening, where we're at, and if you do happen to use Rackspace, maybe where you can get some help. But number one, the issue is that there was a security incident, and Rackspace, rightfully so, is being very tight-lipped about what the security incident was. A lot of security researchers out there believe that there may have been some type of incident or a possible attack around the fact that potentially Rackspace was not patching their Exchange servers. And if you watch this channel or you pay attention to cybersecurity at all, you know in the last year there have been many Exchange vulnerabilities that were patched or needed to be patched, causing a lot of havoc for a lot of companies for probably about 18 months now. It started. But some security researchers used a tool called Shodan. Anybody can access this search engine to kind of get information about things that are connected to the internet. And they kind of discovered that maybe the servers weren't patched, at least that the Shodan information that was showing on their site showed that these were running a version of Exchange where the patch had it was prior to when the patch was released. So that's a huge potential concern, but quite frankly, it's not something that I'm surprised about. These are things that we see all the time, and security researchers bang their hand against their head going, how can this happen? What's going on here? But the reality of it is that, that's where we could be. We don't know if that's the case. The other thing that's being thrown around is potentially that there was no actual breach, that potentially cyber criminals maybe got so far and they were detected, and Rackspace, as a precaution, decided to shut their service down so they didn't have a bigger problem on their hands, which is, it's a possible scenario, but highly unlikely that there wasn't some breach in terms of, a third party getting in or getting access to stuff or information or data that they shouldn't have. So that's kind of what happened. They decided, hey, we're going to shut down this service. And there's a couple other things going on right now that I want to cover. One of those things is they are potentially recommending that you move to M365. You're saying, why would they do that? Well, they, number one, they sell the licenses for M365, and a lot of these hosted Exchange service vendors have moved to a model of where they just resell the Microsoft products instead of running them themselves. And that's exactly what happens over at Rackspace. You can buy Microsoft licenses directly from them. So that's what they want you to do. And they want you to migrate your data over to their platform, or host your licenses with them, or pay for your licenses through them is ultimately what they're after. Plus, get your data out of an environment that's potentially not secure. It's kind of a win-win for them if they can keep you as a customer on the license realm and get you off of hosted exchange. Many of these hosted exchange providers are telling their customers that they need to move away from this product because Microsoft is telling them you need to move away from this product. So the bigger problem that we're hearing about and why I wanted to make this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into, you're going to have to give StreamYard permission. But if you allow permission, you can put comments into anywhere you're watching this on social media, and I will try to answer those if I see them come through. But we do use StreamYard to broadcast this. It makes it a lot easier to get it out to multiple channels, and you need to give permission to StreamYard in order to post the comments so we can see them. Otherwise, we'll catch up with you after the fact. But we appreciate any support you can give us by liking or subscribing to our channels and our videos and sharing them out to your friends and family. But here's the big deal. Small, medium-sized businesses that don't have technical people on staff are really struggling with this problem. And you're talking about tens of thousands of businesses that potentially use Rackspace for their hosted exchange. And while some do have technical talent available to them to help them migrate their data to Office 365, a lot of them don't. And a lot of them are very frustrated today because they cannot get their email. The instructions for migrating provided by Rackspace are very complex, or they're more than what the average bear can handle. So a lot of these businesses are struggling to just go with the recommended steps that Rackspace is providing. So it's adding to the frustration on top of the fact that Rackspace is being inundated with support calls. So getting to support for help is taking, 5, 6, 7 hours, even for somebody to even pick up the phone and start talking to you. And we're hearing that a lot of these calls are ending up in places where they're being disconnected. So the frustration is very high with Rackspace customers right now. The big thing here, guys, is, and what we want to keep in mind is, it doesn't matter who the vendor is. Today, it's Rackspace. I cover Cyberattacks all the time on my YouTube channel, and we see these third-party cloud providers being attacked all the time. And the ramifications of a lot of these, think about Kronos and Schedulefly are two that come to mind, where it really hurt businesses because their services or their software that's in the cloud is not available. This is why when we talk to businesses, we always discuss with them what are the critical pieces of software, pieces of cloud applications that you need to run your business. And I think email is going to be right up there at the top of the list for probably 99.9% of the businesses, right? And then think about all the other applications that you use on a daily basis and what were to happen if they were not available because they had some kind of an incident like we're seeing over at Rackspace. So this is why in your business continuity plan, you've got to plan for these types of things going down and having a plan for going to backup. Now, the other thing that Rackspace is offering their customers is a way to have email redirected to another email address. So like a Gmail account or something like that. You can absolutely contact their support if you can get a hold of them, and they have the ability for your emails to be redirected to another account temporarily while they work through these issues. So big thing here is if you are one of those businesses that I mentioned that is struggling with the migration of the Rackspace email box to Microsoft, I highly recommend that you reach out to a professional, a company like ours or another IT company that you trust to get that done for you. It is not as simple as they make it to be. So it's important that you contact somebody soon, because the sooner you contact somebody, the quicker you can get in the queue and the quicker you can start having the data move. Because at the end of the day, no matter what path you choose, you still have to contact Rackspace support, which is really difficult to get a hold of at this time. So that's really it with Rackspace. There's nothing from a cyber security or cyber criminal standpoint that's salacious and sexy about what's going on here. It's a simple, we noticed something was going on, or we detected something, or we know something was happening from a security standpoint, and our decision was we're going to just shut down the service. And unfortunately, it left a lot of businesses this Monday morning on December 5th and through the weekend out without email and really hampered their ability to conduct business. And a lot of them can't conduct business at all right now. So think about it. If your email was down, how would that impact your business? And make sure that you learn from this. If you're not a Rackspace customer, Microsoft can go down one day. So don't just, believe and tell yourself a story where you think because you're with Microsoft or you're with Google or you're in Gmail that you're never going to have a problem like this. You absolutely will, and you absolutely need to plan for a backup way to get to your email if one of these services go down. And there's plenty of solutions around this to make sure that you have a redundant backup to your cloud email service and things like that. If you have any questions, hit them in the comments or reach out to our company, Exact IT. The website is xitx.com. And we'll put all kinds of links and stuff in the descriptions on our social media. And we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.